Giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and bishops of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings unto the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. This is Brother Taza Power with your daily lunch special. And today we'll be serving up a little insurrection, all right? As it pertains to Jacob's trouble, which is currently underway. Okay, we're in the preliminary stages of Jacob's trouble right now. All right, and I just wanted to go here. This is Galatians chapter 4, verse 16, and it says, "Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?" All right, and this is just due to visions and dreams that brothers have had. The brother up in Dallas, the brother Ariel Naza, he said he had two separate dreams, and then his wife had a dream, all dealing with Jacob's trouble. All right, and it's just that's the flavor of, that's the zeitgeist. The time we're in right now, the spirit of the world is chaos. All right, because the earth is getting ready to give birth to something this world hadn't seen, all right, since the fall of Adam. All right, this world is in its birth pains, all right, and about to give birth into something beautiful, all right, a righteous kingdom under Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So it says, all right, Galatians 4 and 16, "Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?" All right, and the men of the Lord will be persecuted for none other reason than bringing truth to this wicked and corrupt world. All right, this one of the verses I brought out in yesterday's lesson came out of Nahum, the 3rd chapter. I like to revisit that for this lesson because it says, Nahum 3 and 1, "Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not." All right, and as I broke down yesterday, this is talking about ancient Nineveh, as you see in the subheading. All right, Nineveh's complete ruin, and it's going into the destruction and the downfall of Nineveh. All right, now that's relevant today because Nineveh, that spirit was resurrected or reincarnated, for lack of a better term. I don't know what you would use in the, case of a place such as, America. But right, America brought back that ancient energy of ancient Nineveh. All right. Also Babylon, also Greek or Greece, definitely Rome. This is the revised Roman Empire. All right, you go all the way back to ancient Sumer. You see, America today has adopted all of the ideologies, ideas, the philosophies, and the doctrines of these ancient kingdoms and rolled it up into one big ball of confusion. All right, and that's America. Hence Babylon. All right, Babylon goes back to the Hebrew root word Babal. Babal means dust or confusion. Okay, so here Nahum 3 and 1, it says, "Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not." All right, and just as back then the Israelites were the prey, and there was others, but mainly Israel, just like today. America's preying on everybody, the world, through this currency that's dying, the petrodollar. All right, but who's taking the brunt? All right, who's really being preyed on? Who do you see in the courthouses and in the jails? All right, you have never, well, if any of you have ever, been to jail, not the penitentiary, You know, not the prison, but if you ever been in jail, I know most of us been in the courts. You've never seen a yarmulke in court, let alone in any of these jails or prisons. All right? Because they are not the prey. Who do you see? Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all day, every day, with a few sprinkles of white folk in there who possibly could be Israelites. All right? And, yeah. You rarely see, if any, if ever, Moabites, Ammonites, Ishmaelites. You don't see nobody in these goddamn penitentiaries but Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the white boys. They go in there to control what you call the organized crime. All right. A lot of them white boys in there, they go and come as they please. They just there to regulate the underworld. All right. And they be running the meth and all this other shit. It all runs through the prison pipeline. All right. A lot of the Edomites, they just be there. You understand, to keep that underground, keep that underground moving in them black markets. And they all ganged up, They all ganged up. So when you see Edomites in the penitentiary, sometimes they just get caught in some shit. But a lot of times they repeat offenders because they in and out as they doing business. They doing business. Let's see. But yeah, that's the point that I wanted to bring out one more time. Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. All right, and as I mentioned, that applies to America today. This applies to America. You have not seen such a bloody city as America. All right. You talk about Mao Zedong, Mussolini, even Hitler, and they had a time, they had a time. I believe, Mao Zedong was brutal. All right, killing millions of his own people. All right, but you can't match 300 years, 400 years, Salakia. You can't compete with 400 years of slaughter. All right, South, Central, and North America, but specifically North America. All right, this is a bloody city. Blood been shed here from the even before, but let's just, to give a good starting point, the American Revolution. All right, when this place was being established as a corporation, unto this very day, the blood of the saints is being shed. All right, because the prey departed not. We telling them. All right. Micah chapter 2 verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. You see, this place, America, in this entire system. If you in the UK, that ain't your rest. You in Australia as an Israelite, that ain't your rest. You in Germany. A lot of these places, in many ways, are better than America. You see, but that ain't your rest still. All right? We'll rest when the enemy is disposed. Which brings me back to Galatians, all right? I said we will rest when our enemy is deposed. And what did we kick it off with? Galatians 4:16, it says, all right, am I therefore become your enemy? Because I tell you the truth. And yes, for no other reason than the Hebrew Israelites speaking biblical truth to power, all right, into existence, and seeing it manifest fruit in the earth. We ain't just, oh, he told the truth. You know, Jacob would use that word truth. Oh man, that nigga is the truth. No, we speak truth into existence. And it takes on a life of its own. And it produces fruit in the earth. All right? Other righteous men hear it. And they are reformed by this truth. This truth produces. It's a dangerous truth. All right? A truth that a kingdom of lies, that's why I wanted to go to Nahum, cannot afford to have floating around. You know, we can't have all this truth just floating around out here on the internet, on the streets, in books. We can't have that truth. These are people that didn't want us to even read the scriptures. All right, but the Most High set it up to where we not only reading, we understanding and breaking it down for any and all to receive this love. And that's all it is, really just love. But, all right, in a land full of lies and robbery, this love is perceived as an act of aggression and even act of war. Because nothing threatens this kingdom more than speaking truth. And it don't matter who it is, it just speak the truth. But we already know that only the men of the Lord, all right, the men of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, that is speaking 100% truth, is going to give you that truth. All right? And it is detrimental to this kingdom. It is destructive. And so, it's going to come to a point when, you know, I don't know when exactly, but it's going to come to a point where they're going to have to attempt to silence us. Right? And this is why we've been reading Amos chapter 8, verse 11. All right? And it says, let's go to that though. That it's a famine coming. All right? This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. It says, behold, the days come, said the Lord, power, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So that famine of hearing the words of the Lord, which is the words of salvation. It's going to be a famine of hearing, you know, this truth. And the famine of hearing the word brings about, well, it's going to well, I don't know. I just say this. Without no word, there'll be no faith. All right? So if you don't have faith, when this famine comes, you can hang it up, because faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the words of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And I'm quoting Romans 10 and 6. I mean, it's 10 and 16. Let me get the precise verse. It might be up a little bit further. Okay, 17. It says, this is Romans 10 and 17. So then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So if there's a famine of the hearing of the word, then that'll bring about, I don't want to say famine of faith. That's why I'm trying to choose my words correctly, because the men that have faith already will have it. All right. But in a sense, all right, that's the best way I can word it. In a sense, it'll be, a lack of faith or a famine of faith. I guess you could say a famine of faith. All right. Because right now, although it's prevalent in the earth, this word, and it's abundant in the earth, only those that are going to receive it is the one the Most High want to receive it. All right. But what if you just, one of those that been lollygagging, putting it off, and you know men telling the truth. You see it in the world, what the brothers are telling you. You see it. But life just got you caught up, and you putting it off and putting it off. Well, when that famine come, you ain't got to worry about putting it off no more. You can go on and do you. Do what it is that you've been ignoring the Lord for. Just continue doing that. In Jacob's trouble. All right, which you won't be able to. I'm being sarcastic. But yeah. And the Most High, he got a sense of humor like that, to destroy you with the very thing that you put before him. But anyway, no word, no hearing of the word, no more faith. All right. So either you have it at that time or you don't. Grace will be shut off completely at that point. All right. But right, we know, all right, here at Great Millstone, we're not trying to be a friend of this world like IUIC, all right, who we suspect to have or to be under the, be in subordination to the 501c3. Because you do have to toe a line, all right? So you do have to be subordinate. And who is it ultimately that you're being subordinate to? The government. All right. So if you got a 501c3, you're a friend of the world. All right. Because you got to say the right stuff. You got to be politically correct. You got to be on point by the world's standards. And there's certain things that you can't say, like Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach. All right? And they might let you get away with Yahweh, maybe. But they ain't finna let you say Yahweh Shai. And y'all still out there don't know what the name is. It's the name they don't want you to say. Just like you want to know who running the world, is the people you can't talk about. Well, the correct name of the Lord is the Lord that they put the penalty on you for speaking. Or they don't want you to say. I'll just leave it like that. All right? But right, all right, we are enemies. We have become enemies to this world because no other reason than speaking truth. All right? And they'll attempt to come after some of us. And the Lord will give them, there will be some martyrs to fulfill the Most High's will. All right? He has things that he wants done in the earth. All right? And that's a great honor and glory to be martyred for Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's a great honor and privilege. All right? And the Lord, he's going to use the death of the saints for his glory and his praise. All right, all of this is for the Most High's honor, glory, and praise. You understand? So, right, we understand this. So we walk, all right, in the truth as we were given, knowing that people hate us. People gonna call us bald-faced liars. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all just a ragtag group of niggas. How y'all know? Don't worry about how we know. All right? Don't worry about it. You just worry about, you know, this judgment that's coming. Oh, it's coming. And everybody's work will be brought in for questioning. All right, questioning. Our works will be brought into judgment. All right, so I'm going to leave it right there. All right, and again, just know, all right, we ain't going to have free reign just to be on YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, any of these other platforms. If you got a, what you call it, Patreon, if you got a Patreon, the brother shouldn't be charging for the lessons. But they're going to take that privilege from us, all right? Because let Esau tell it, it's a privilege that he allowed us to have the privilege of using his internet, all right? But we know the Most High made it to where we can come out and call this man the devil in his face, on his internet, and he can't do nothing but sit there and take it. And try to shadow ban, do these other little, underhanded tricks. But he ain't stopping this word. And it's out. They're watching us. Have been watching us. Probably know us better than we know ourselves at this point. All right? And sometime they're going to move on, brothers. This come with the territory. This is what we signed up for. All right? It's like you enlist in the army. You can't cry when war and they call you to go to war. That's what you signed up for. So it's the same way we signed up for this persecution. And speaking of persecution, this second Ezra, chapter 16 and 70. Yeah, 70. It says, "For there shall be in every place, in the next cities, a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai." So I mean they're gonna come after us. You can look that word up. I'm not sure offhand, but it just means an uprising. Offhand. But there will be a great insurrection upon those of us who fear Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, and there's nothing to be afraid of. All right? Nothing what they gonna do. Send you back to the spirit world, then when you gonna have glory and power? What the hell? They cannot do nothing. That's what the scriptures say. You can't do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So get in the truth, and can't nobody do nothing against you. Because you in the truth now, you become truth, and you can't do nothing against truth. So be truth. All right, Bruce Lee wants you to be water. I want you to be truth. All right, and you could be water sometime, that's fine, but be truth all the time. All right, and then can't nothing be done against you. Shalom.